Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to do some of the woven patterns that are out there. The two that I generally do are Huggins and W2. They are from Zentangle.com. I believe they're some of the original patterns that are out there. And I know I've seen a lot of people ask how you keep track, how are they done, are they hard? There's just a lot to remember when you're doing them. They're not really hard, but you kind of have to come up with a system. So I've come up with a little system. We're going to do W2, which is the straighter version of it. Huggins is very similar, it's just curved. And I usually start out with drawing some squares. You want to try, when you're practicing this, to just try to keep them even and equal distance apart. And later on you can fool around with putting them in different distances from each other or different configurations. It doesn't really matter to me how I start, if I start on the outside of a set of squares or the inside, but I just try to be consistent. So if you start on the outside and make your first line on the outside of the squares, you're going to alternate. The next line will be on the inside, and then you're going to alternate to the outside again. When it comes to the next row, and I usually work in rows, you look at the row before that you just did, and if this is on the outside, you're going to mirror that over on the next row and make this one on the outside, then alternate inside and then outside. And you come into the next row, you're going to look over here. This one is on the inside, so you're going to mirror this and make it on the inside, outside, inside. And the last one is going to be on the outside, and you alternate. You could turn your paper when you're ready to do connecting them. And this is the part that I had the hardest with. How do you know where to make your first line? Well, I try to remember, if these are on the outside of the squares, my first line is going to be opposite of that on the inside of the squares. And then I'm going to alternate again, outside, inside. You can start to see the pattern emerging. I still make mistakes all the time doing this, because my mind starts to wander, not paying attention. So you can see the pattern. They're woven, it looks like basket weave. And it looks like this is going underneath these two that are coming straight down. So to give it a little bit more depth, you can shade with your pencil along the edges that it looks like that woven piece is coming out from underneath. You can also fill in your squares a little bit better than I have. And when you come into blend, I kind of go with what I think is going to be the direction of, if this was a basket, and the reed, because that's what it reminds me of. And that's all there really is to it. It just takes it took a lot of concentration for me when I was first started to do these patterns. And Huggins throws me because it's curved. I don't know why the curve would throw you, but it does. And with Huggins, I usually start with circles. And it's the same concept. If you start your first curve towards the outside, you're going to alternate curving in and then curving out again. And you're going to look to this one when you do this row. So it's out, in, out. This one is in, out, in, and that one is out. And this is the one I always mess up. When you go do your row across, and you might do it another way, you might come up with another way that's easier, but I've always done it in rows so that I can keep track. These are going to bow out, so this first set is going to bow in, and then out, and then in. You're going to look to this when you do the next row, that bows out, so in, out, and then the final one, it bows in, out, in. And come back in and make your little dots bigger, just to show some space in between them. And you could shade that too. Same concept. And it makes it pop a little bit. And that's it. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, just shoot me a comment and I'll be happy to answer it. And if you want to see any other patterns, I'd be happy to give them a try. Thanks for watching.